I'm Kate, and today I'm going to be continuing my journey with Breaking Bad, starting season 3. It's been a few months for me, and I'm really excited to jump back in. At the end of season 2, we see Walter make a decision that he is going full-time with his other side, with his Heisenberg personality. He admits to himself how much he loves the power and the money that comes with being Heisenberg. However, we also, and Walter sees, the consequences of this decision. First off, we have, of course, the plane crash that was kind of a domino effect of Walter's actions. We saw teddy bears in the pool, meaning that there were children on board. And even when it comes to the adults that are passing away from the meth that Walter is making, those were somebody's children, and he is losing his own as well. He missed the birth of his daughter, and there is another man present there to be supportive for his wife, who has now left him. I was actually kind of surprised when Skylar left. I don't know. I've never seen the show, but for some reason, I just kind of thought that Skylar was going to get wrapped up or involved in this somehow. And I'm kind of proud for her for sticking up for herself and for leaving. With Walter Jr., who likes to go by Flynn, I'm really interested to see what happens with his character. He's a teenager going through so many changes and emotions. He already has so much to deal with in his life health-wise, and having those teenager emotions on top of it, as well as now your parents are separating and your father is becoming this person that you don't recognize. Walt Jr. wants to go by Flynn, a different personality. He doesn't want to be Walt Jr. He's trying to distance himself from his father. And it's just interesting because I want to see, is him naming himself Flynn Jr. because he is going to distance himself and his actions from his father? Or is he like Walter, who is also going by a different name, Heisenberg, and is living this separate alternative life from his family? Personally, I think that Flynn is a great kid. We see that when Walter was in the hospital with amnesia, he was present with his mom. Walt saw how much he was missing out on and saw that his son has kind of had to step up and take on the role that he was not present for and support his mother through that pregnancy. Then, of course, we have Walt's other son, the other person I want to talk about, Jesse. This was another assumption I guess I made, that I thought Jesse and Jane lasted a lot longer, but honestly, their relationship burned pretty bright and pretty strongly, and I think it's going to leave a significant lasting impact on Jesse. Jesse's not aware that Walter was present and could have saved, possibly, Jane's life. But I still sense a lot of resentment from Jesse. And I could see a lot of resentment building up towards Walt. They kind of just keep missing each other in terms of, like, respect. I think that they have grown to love and respect each other, but it's always kind of like, it's always a balancing act. Somebody is always mad at the other person for something that they did. Of course, once Walter began to trust Jesse and think of him like a son and a partner in this business, Jesse relapsed and began using even harder drugs with Jane. He went along with Jane's plans that were against and harming Walter, but Walter cared enough for Jesse to go find him in that flop house, in that drug den, to pull him out and to put him in a rehab center when he could have just left him and known that it was only a matter of time before he never had to deal with Jesse again. Jesse has a lot of anger, a lot of sadness, and now he's in this rehab center, and I just wonder where he goes from here. Does he try to get back on the straight and narrow and Walter pulls him back in? Or he knows that he really doesn't have any other options and he needs the money and continues or tries to continue working with Walter? Because now Walter is working with Gustavo. Gustavo is going to be able to provide him with that market, with the ability to sell wholesale that Walter was missing out on. But Gustavo also made it clear that you can't trust a drug addict, and he did not trust Jesse. Walter made it clear that he in fact does trust Jesse, but I guess the only way to figure out what happens is to watch. So let's jump in. Very yellow. Aww. What happened here? There's an orange jumpsuit? Or, no, just an orange shirt. I wasn't sure if it was like a prison jumpsuit. And that person just rolled right by him. These two definitely look like more able-bodied enforcers than who we've seen so far. Oh, interesting. Okay, so maybe this is a sign of respect. They're paying pilgrimage to someone. Oh, yep, it's like a holy site. Little luchadors. Oh, it's like a saint. This would make a really good front to leave drug money and pick up drugs as well. Ooh. Well, that's an interesting way to start the season.
We interrupt our scheduled programming to bring you this breaking news.
Good afternoon. In the last several minutes, KOB has received dozens of reports, but callers describe witnessing an explosion overhead, followed by falling debris.
So we're picking up right where we left off.
The final death toll now stands at 167.
Is Walter even going to understand that this was caused by him?
As the FAA confirmed, it was indeed a lone air traffic controller's fateful...
And now this guy has to live with that, Jane's father.
Margolis, a 19-year veteran.
While it's now known that Margolis had recently lost a daughter to a
drug overdose, and a month before, his troubled daughter, Jane
Yep.
The death of his only child hit Margolis.
I'm glad they're making such a big deal about this.
Wondering how much blame truly lies with those who let this grieving father.
We've been here before. Those are like all of Walt's victims, the little matchsticks. Really? Remember how much money spent, or how much money meant to Walter? I think it's kind of hitting him now, what he's doing.
I really just need this quick and easy.
Okay.
She made up her mind and she doesn't want
Does
to
your husband go along with that?
look back now or question it.
Does he know?
Well, I mean, he certainly knows we're separated, so we're in the process of moving him out. Yeah, today, hopefully. That was supposed to happen last week, but then came the crash and
Beneath the
Right
flight path.
beneath it. At the center of it.
So I certainly couldn't bring myself
there.
to.
So awful.
I know.
Well, you definitely want to maintain residency in your actual home. It just puts you in a better position in regards to custody.
They need to stay with me.
What about other debts or assets? Do you feel you have a good understanding of you and your husband's financial situation? I just intend that every one of my clients get a full and honest accounting of what it is they owe and what it is they own. You'd be amazed what I've seen partners hide from one another.
She knows. Well, she knows that she doesn't know. And a nice little reminder out front for Walt every day. Hank!
Hey, buddy.
He's gonna find that eyeball from the... Yep. I remember going it in the filter from last year.
Hey, buddy, there you are. Listen, it's tough. The shittiest week since 9/11, okay? Bar none. Look. But this situation between you and, you know, I'm not asking, by the way, okay? It's none of my business. You beat a little tactical retreat, yeah? You regroup, and then, boom.
Oh, Hank.
I'm pulling for you, man. I'm pulling for you.
Ooh, is that the money bag?
What do you got in there? Cinder blocks?
$500,000 in cash.
That's the spirit.
Okay, Jesse. Some good hobbies.
Who among you is here hoping they can actively improve who they are? See, that's your first mistake. You should be here to learn self-acceptance.
Hey, honey, you want another waffle?
Hey, hello, everybody. Good morning. I was just checking in and thought I'd pass along the current contact information.
Skylar looks great. Looks like she's got some fresh blonde hair.
Hey, Dad, it's me. No, I'm not okay. I don't know what the hell's going on. Nobody's telling me jack shit around here. Or can you just give me a ride to school?
I'll take you to school.
See you soon.
Guess I didn't see such resentment towards Skylar, but I guess being a child and not understanding, and your mom making your father move out when you don't know what's going on, and he just had cancer. Remember the last PB&J sandwich? Yeah, don't really have to hide that anymore, huh?
As all of you know, last week our city suffered a terrible tragedy. One that none of us will ever forget.
He cut the crust off last time, too.
In college, they have this thing where if your roommate kills himself, it's basically an automatic A. And I just think that kind of compassion is something...
Wow, that was pretty rude.
I just keep asking myself, why did this happen? I haven't really been sleeping much. Does anyone else have that? I just keep hearing that sound.
Yep, Walter's a
boom.
teacher. He's supposed to make the children feel safe. He's supposed to keep them safe.
My neighbor, he heard the crash and he ran outside and he found like this seat. There was still a pair of legs buckled into them.
Jesus H. Christ.
Mr. White, would you like to say something?
I guess what I would want to say is look on the bright side. Nobody on the ground was killed. Plus, neither plane was full.
These are all the things he's been telling himself over the last couple days.
53 crashes throughout history that are just as bad or worse. And just move on. And we will too. We will move on and we will get past this. And we survive and we overcome.
Good talk. Oh, yellow. We must be in Mexico again. I hate the yellow Mexico filter. They're not about to just turn on this family and kill them, right? Okay.
Why don't you just come inside? It's your house.
No.
I think he's super disappointed in Walter because, once again, Walter, from his perspective, Walt Jr.'s perspective, isn't fighting. He told him, just die already. You know, when Walter was saying he didn't want to go through treatment, and now he's saying, it's your house, come into it. And he's picked up the phone saying, like, I don't know what's going on. Nobody's telling me. I think he wants his dad to fight.
Hey, Flynn! How's Tricks?
How's what?
Tricks, it's an expression.
Why you gotta be like this? Why can't you just talk even?
Hey, cool down, okay? You know, try not to hold it against him. You know, I mean, the poor kid, he's probably just dying of curiosity.
I think Marie's talking about herself.
Won't tell me what it is that Walt
Well,
did.
you know what? I don't remember asking you. Be supportive without prying. That would be really
Pry, okay,
great.
well.
It's that voice inside your head, voice that tells you you're not good enough. Are you good enough to deserve your share of basic human happiness? Are you good enough to be okay with who and what you are?
So, like, what makes you the experts?
I don't think I ever said I was that.
Have you ever really hurt anybody?
I killed my daughter. I was high on cocaine and I was drunk, but I was out of vodka. They have these ABC stores, which close at 5 p.m., and right then I was like...
We have like the same
4:42.
thing in Connecticut with the blue laws and alcohol.
She's playing at the end of the driveway.
How do you not hate yourself?
I did hate myself for a long time. Self-hatred, guilt, it accomplishes nothing. It just stands in the way.
Stands in the way of what?
True change.
Skylar,
Is this a good time to talk?
do you want to start? Is it to punish me?
I am not punishing you all.
This is punitive. We are happily married. I am happily married. I am happy.
Oh, I'm so glad you're happy. She gave birth without you by her side.
I love you, Skylar. And I would do anything for you. There's your side and there's my side, and you haven't heard my side.
She gave you a lot of opportunities.
You're a drug dealer.
No, what? How? What?
Was that just a good guess? She threw it out there to see how he'd react.
How else could you possibly make that kind of money? Marijuana. That Pinkman kid. No? Cocaine?
Methamphetamine.
May as well come clean. We already told Hank about the million or $500,000.
Sure, I'm not a dealer.
I won't tell Hank. And I won't tell your children. But only if you grant me this divorce and stay out of our lives.
Yes.
I mean it. Now let me the hell out of here before I throw up.
Your windshield's broken.
A little friction in the marriage right now. That's you over there. Listen, money. Saul has got it for you. And so as soon as you're feeling better.
I'm better.
The rehab, it helped?
Yeah. I'm done using.
I feel like Jesse's just going to turn around and leave.
You been following this airplane crash? You know, it was Jane's dad who accidentally crashed them together.
You are not responsible for this. Not in any way, shape, or form. And the whole system is run on 1960s technology. No, I blame the government.
You either run from things or you face them, Mr. White. It's all about accepting who you really are. I accept who I
Walter
am.
will never.
And who are you?
I'm the bad guy.
Very interesting turn of events.
It's good to see you again. Meth? I have an offer that I think will be of interest to you.
I'm here because I owe you the courtesy and respect to tell you this personally.
I don't think he's going to let you leave now. You got in too deep.
I am not a criminal. No offense to any people who are.
You are, though.
$3 million for 3 months of your time. 3 months, then out.
We keep telling ourselves this.
3 million?
And we keep upping the ante in the show. Like, oh, we just do this and then we're out. Then we do this and then we're out.
I have more money than I know how to spend. What I don't have is my family. The answer is still no.
Enjoy your meal.
I know we've established the color yellow has to do with drugs.
Está. ¿Lo sintieron? Texas. De los carros a los narcos más fregones de Michoacán, ¿Qué tiene en la punta? ¿Un poco de plata?
Yeah, he figured it out. Let's just mind our own business. Also, probably shouldn't have.
What the hell's going on in there?
I don't think that guy's getting very far. Okay. We are back. So this episode was quite explosive. We see Walt at the beginning flicking the matches into the pool. And I was saying that's kind of like people coming into Walter's life, how all these lives have just burnt out so quickly, or how he has burnt out people's lives so quickly. And then at the end, he tried to, not the end of the episode, but at the end of that scene, he tried to put out the fire after he lit the money on fire. And it was just, he can't walk away from this. And then Jesse in rehab hearing, we need to accept who we are. I love a good villain. So I do love the way this is going. Like, obviously I get frustrated with like Walter's actions because he's not a good person, especially in dealing with Skylar, which we'll get to. They're very well written villains, and I'd like to see where Jesse goes from here now that he said that. But Walter can't accept who he is. At the end of last season, it seemed like he made that choice that he wanted to be Heisenberg, but it was he wanted to be Heisenberg on the side. He wanted it both ways, and you can't be the family man teacher and also be the methamphetamine drug lord of Albuquerque. I think we also see this episode that it's hard to close Pandora's box once it's opened. As we saw from, again, Jesse's time in rehab, things happen. And Walter said things happen, and we can't change them, and we can't go back in time and stop them. And Walter is now trying to stop things that he has set in motion and can't be stopped. And we definitely see that with those two brother twin bodyguard guys that are probably with the cartel. They put up Walter's picture in that saint's ofrenda, or in that little temple there. They are after Walter, and it doesn't matter that Walter is saying he wants to stop. It doesn't matter that Walter is hanging it up. It's too late. Just like it's kind of too late with Skylar. I felt so terribly for Skylar and for Flynn, Walt Jr., because, as I'd mentioned, it felt like Flynn has been desperately wanting his father in his life. He wants his father to fight, to be a part of his life. It seems to him like his father is giving up with the cancer, and now it seems again like his father is giving up with the marriage. He's not putting up a fight for it. He doesn't know that Walter doesn't want the divorce and is fighting for it in his Walter way, and he doesn't understand that his mom is making the correct decisions, because obviously, you know, Walter's one of the main characters of the show, and we shouldn't be rooting for him, but sometimes you can't help but feel like, oh, I really want him, I want him to be able to do this on the side and make the money and be able to pay for his cancer treatments and also have his family. Saying that actually sounds crazy. I don't want him to be able to do both of those things. I want him to live in a country where he has health care. But anyways, I want him to come out on the other side healthy, happy, with a family, but things have happened where that's just not really an option. Also, with Walter not accepting who he is, he's not accepting responsibility. He was turning around everything on Skylar, and he was being so nasty. He was gaslighting her, saying that they had a happy marriage. Well, he was happy. Why aren't you happy? Trying to make it seem like it's her fault for not trying to be happy when he was absent through most of her pregnancy. He was, and it wasn't just for the cancer. You know, like, obviously if he was sick and tired and sleeping and dealing with his treatments, that's one thing that you can't get angry at him for. But it was the fact that he was out doing other things and he had the secret second cell phone. You cannot get mad at Skylar. Like, he just admitted that he is a methamphetamine producer, and she does not want him near her or the children. If I was Skylar, I would have absolutely told Hank. Because as we've seen, it's not just selling it. You're not innocent in any part of this. Yes, people have free will, but if you weren't making it, they wouldn't be taking it. I'm so excited that I started season 3. I've been wanting to start it for a while, but I wanted to make sure I was ready to commit, to film, to edit, to have conversations with you guys. And yeah, I'm very excited to be back in New Methico.